So happy 11/11, the start of the new energetic year, and a brilliant time to be talking about the themes that we're going to be seeing coming up and the opportunities that that's going to be presenting for our businesses. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So lots of people will share energy on a shorter time scale. For some reason or another, I get my information on longer timescales. So I find it much easier to work on an annual or even quarterly basis. So I took the opportunity to feel into what's coming up in 2021. And the very first thing that came up for me was this image of a splash. And by that, I mean, you know, when you throw something into the water and there's a curtain of water comes up with these drops, and it was frozen in place. And it was about the interpretation of that is that when we throw a stone into water, we create these ripples. And those ripples have impact, but on us and how we feel about something, that moment of the splash is the one that we remember. It's like when you dive bomb into a pool, you remember the exhilaration and the feeling of the diving in, you know, and yes, the waves, you know, and the ripples and everything are going out from around you, and that has its impacts. But upon you, the transformational point was you actually making the splash. So the visual is very much about that splash, sort of that impact, staying and having that lasting impression upon us. And for this year is I work with the elements on a clock face, if you haven't come across that before. So and each hour has a different feeling to it, and the number for this year is 5. Now that is not actually connected, well, I'm sure it is connected, but it's not actually about the numerology, which, because it's also a 5-year in numerology, but it's a 5 in as much as it is that moment of transition between air energy and fire energy. And that is very much the energy where you take that deep breath, that centering, grounding, balancing moment before you leap. And that is really the defining energy of 2021. So 2021 is about, it's going to be all about play. It's going to be experimentation. It's going to be just operating on the basis that there are no rules. It's going to have why not? Why not is going to be one of those key sort of phrases that will keep coming up. Why not? Why can't I do that? Just because it's always been done this way, or just because somebody tells me that that's how it must be done, or why can't I do it a different way, or why is that not possible? Constantly challenging it. So it'll be a year when we really challenge ourselves to see what's possible for us, but we also challenge the narratives that we're told about what is possible, because we can't break out of any patterns if we don't challenge and push our boundaries. So that's really kind of, you know, it was one of the key aspects of the energy coming up. I'm just going to get my notes out just to make sure I don't miss anything. Curiosity will be a big theme for this year, sort of like freedom of thought, curiosity. What if if I tried that, well, what would happen? And for that to really have an impact on you, we need to rewrite the script on mistakes, because we have this fear of failure, the resistance of change because of the consequences, is because of how we perceive mistakes. So, and you know, perhaps you can choose to have a different word associated with your learning experiences, if you like, but you know, we can just choose to rewrite the energy around mistakes. Mistake isn't something that is catastrophic. Oh yeah, all right, there are some, but you know, in terms of most of the time when we're learning and we're exploring, when we get things wrong, it's a process of learning. It's a process of learning how to do things better. And for this coming year, that'll be about working out what works for you and what doesn't work for you as much as anything else. So it's saying, okay, well, I've tried that on for size, and you know, there's no loss or there's no gain to it. But well, there is, you know, other than that, you've learned that it doesn't work. So it's about being able to try things on for size and not fear the consequences of it. Now, I think particularly in the world of business, there is a lot of fear around the mistakes that we can make and the cost that there will be. And it doesn't feel to me that there is a cost associated with the play coming up in this year, the experimentation and the curiosity. It's about really trying to see what works and what doesn't. And I think if you're transparent and you're honest about that's the approach you're taking, then your audience is going to go along for the ride with you, and they are not going to, there isn't going to be the consequences. And we have so much invested in our businesses and so much invested in our personal lives through our businesses that it can seem that the stakes are really high. But this year is really going to support going for it in a different way. So, and now I've just got, that's so funny. Apple wanting to update on my computer. It does that at very key moments, bizarrely. And it's now, I think, going to freeze my computer, which is really not helpful. So curiosity, rewriting the script. It's a year when I was trying to, sorry, that's irritating me. When I was trying to write I normally work on the rhythm of the year. And this year doesn't have a specific rhythm. It has a rhythm to the experiences we're going to be having. And the word that came for the start of that rhythm is ooh, as in ooh. I wonder if what would happen if it really is that ooh of curiosity, not ooh, I'm shocked, but ooh, that's possible, that's open to me. So that's very much the start of the cycle. It sort of goes, ooh, let me see, let me test it out, let me do something with it. Then there's a quick sort of check in and say, how do I feel about that? Like it or don't? Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to go, what do I now need to do to make that part of how I operate? And in that process, that brings you back round to that moment where you just go, well, I've done that, now I can cast my eye around. I can see what else is open to me and then go, ooh, do you know, and it's going to keep on going round that cycle of just play, experiment, test it out, do something with it, just check in, and then sort of like just allow yourself to flow. So obviously I talk about the creative cycle a lot and allowing yourself to flow through that. So it really is that sort of moment to just take that step, take that leap, see what happens, see how you feel about it, do what you need to do to embed it, and then you're up and at it again. And that was a very big message for this year, is that there's a dynamic quality to the entire year, as in there's not a year for deep reflection. I'm not saying that there won't be moments of very deep reflection, and there won't be moments when you're doing a lot of learning about yourself and personal development. Of course you will, because that's constant. But it's not a year when we want to be sort of like doing that really deep stuff. When we stop this year, we've had to stop. This year, we've had to reevaluate. Next year isn't going to be like that. This is going to be like, okay, well, yeah, no, I like that. No, I didn't like that. I like bits of it. I didn't like bits of it. It's not sitting with it for a long period of time. It's like using that as the springboard, just to keep on going, because this is a year of change, and it's a year where we invite in that change and we act upon that change, and we find what's going to be by playing. Because at the moment, what we know is that where we're coming from isn't fitting anymore, but we can't see what we're moving into yet. So the only thing we can do is play. And that's what was sort of like the mindset that we need to be jumping into. It is very much for your businesses. it is a year when you don't want to be getting yourself committed to something that you have no way of renegotiating if you need to. It's a year to find lightness and the ability to move swiftly on your feet. So if you find yourself coming up against obstacles, it is not the year to stubbornly persist. I'm going to find this difficult because I am stubborn as hell. But so it is not the year to persist in the face of that. It's a year to say, oh, I need to come at this slightly differently, or I need to find a completely different path. So it's allowing yourself to be fleet of foot, deft of foot as well, so that you're moving yourself around. So it's a year to let down the burdens of your business and find lightness. So let's just see whether or not I've missed anything else. Yeah. Accept your total freedom to create. This is a big belief to rewrite. We have so much pumped into us about this is how it's done. That isn't possible. That's too risky. And we have complete freedom to create on our own terms. We really do. And this is the year that we find that out. So by being brave. But it's also, very importantly, the year that we uphold our values at all times. Now, as I've been reflecting on this, I've been thinking about how much business systems, business ethos can run counter to our values, but we don't have another way of doing it, so we go down that road. Now, it feels that this coming year, that trying to bolt on things or bring things on that do not uphold your values on any level will cause huge amounts of friction for you. It is a year to really find those values and to embody them in a way of working and a way of sharing with the world that is consistent. And that feels like an incredibly important message to be sharing. I touched upon the numerology. So a 5-year in numerology is very much a year of freedom to express, freedom to create. It's a playful year. And to me, 5 is very much a pivotal point. It is a point where you are moving over if you like, over a bridge. It's the peak of the bridge. So you are leaving something behind and you're moving into something and you don't know. And I suppose if you took the bridge to a roller coaster, that moment you crest a ridge on a roller coaster and you're going to go into free fall. I'm not saying that this year is going to be complete free fall, but it's going to have some of that sort of exhilaration of that. Where are we going? What's going to happen? And I don't know how I'm going to feel in 20 feet because it's moving so fast. And I think there's going to be qualities of that. It doesn't mean to say that, it's going to be overwhelming. It doesn't feel like it's going to be overwhelming. It feels like we're going to get on board with it and it's going to be fun. And I'm saying that in the face of, I know, incredible uncertainty about what's going to be happening for all of us with our global situation, both politically and, COVID and all the other things. There's a huge amount of uncertainty, but it still feels like now's the time to do the creating and the joyful creating. And that, I think, is possibly another message. It is to find the joy in the creating. And the more you create in your joy, the more you will create your joy, was the phrase that came to me. So there's lots of that. I have actually I'm just going to double check it because in a minute, I'm just going to take you into an activation of the 11. Well, it's actually 2020. It's 11/11/2021 activation, sort of a blend of the two. But I'm just going to check my notes to see whether or not there was anything else that was really important on the energetic themes. Give it a whirl. That was a phrase that came up. We can only know what is possible when we try. So give it a whirl. Yeah, the more you play, the more joy you will find. And in your business, you have a blank sheet to create what you want and what you need. See what brings you joy and let go of what doesn't. Let go of the heavy burdens of business and just travel light. Keep it fluid. And that, yeah. So, let me just get that one open now. That's the main themes on the energy. So now what I wanted to do is share an activation with you. So if you've got the opportunity to do it now, then now's a good time to get yourself comfortable. It doesn't really matter if you are sitting or standing, or even to some extent if you are walking, but it is quite a visual one. So I would recommend that you have the opportunity to close your eyes and let yourself get lost in the moment, or found in the moment, depending on how you feel about it. So if you begin to find yourself somewhere comfortable, I'm going to read this because it's easier for me to do so. And just give you a little bit of a background to this. So consciousness is a forward moving wave. It's always expanding, it's always becoming. And even when we're holding back, we expand, and we grow when we stand still, because there's an unstoppable momentum to that process. And if you can give yourself permission to be carried by that momentum, it grants you the freedom to see your experience through a different lens, to release the struggle and to just flow. 11:11 is the moment that we can consciously step through into the new. It's your opportunity to embrace new energy, new possibilities, new momentum. And choice is an energetic key to receiving all that the shifting energies can give you, because you have a choice to step into this energy. You have a choice to be open to the experience. You can choose to feel, to flow, and to respond in the moment. You can choose to release your expectations and just feel where you are now and what the energy can show you. And you can choose to move from this present moment and know that what is and what has been does not define what will be. All that defines what will be is this moment and the choice that you make in this moment. And a message that came through when I was creating this activation was that every part of energy is an explosion of light that is felt and received. And that was very much about that is an explosion of light coming from you. And that's how it felt. So if you're comfortable and close your eyes closed, begin to feel yourself really supported by the chair or the ground beneath you. Bring your attention to your breath and feel the breath flow into your body, bringing energy and vitality with it. And with each inhale, draw the breath deeper into your body, using your breath to connect to your whole body. And as you connect to your body, be aware of tension that you're holding. And as you exhale, consciously send that tension out from you. And continue to breathe in this way until you feel deeply relaxed and in the present. In front of you, there's a circle of light moving towards you. And the light is really bright around the edges. And you know and you understand that this is a gateway, a portal. And it is inevitable that it will reach you and that you will have to pass through it. But you know that you can still choose to step through the portal and to do so consciously and with curiosity. So take that breath, center yourself, and step forward and walk through the circle. On the other side, there's nothing. It's blank. It is infinite space. Take another deep breath, and as you do, draw light into your body. Take your arm out in front of you, with the palm facing out, and sweep your arm in a big arc, and watch as an explosion of color and shape and sound trails from your hand. Sweep again, painting the void with light and life. And then bring your other hand. And you begin to conduct a huge scene of light and vibrancy. And your foot moves and you realize that your foot and your leg is painting as well. And so you begin to move until you are dancing and swirling, creating with joy. And as you bring colour and life to this blank canvas, you begin to experiment. Do you like it? If you don't, just sweep it away and try again, because nothing is fixed. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. It is your choice. This vibrant, riotous canvas of life and opportunity, of energy, is your creation, and it's beautiful. And it is also yours to bring into form. So draw the energy of this creation into the palms of your hands and hold it to your heart. Allow it to melt into your body and travel through you, anchoring down through your feet and into your Earth Star Chakra, and up through your crown into your Soul Star Chakra, from where it will flow around you, creating a field of energy that is creative and joyful and hopeful. And with this energy surrounding you, you begin to walk forward. And each step you take brings you back into your body, little by little, back into your space, little by little, until you are fully arrived and ready to open your eyes. I hope that you enjoyed that activation. I know that I ran it for my clients last week, and they loved the freedom and the creativity of it. And it is an energy that will travel with you. My view is that having gone through this activation, you've consciously stepped into the new. You have consciously made the space for yourself and your business to be in this new energy and to take full advantage of it. And I hope that you have a creative and joyful 2021. And thank you so much for being here.